Alright, hey guys, welcome to another video. What could be in this orange box? Guys, I think it's all tape. I'm not terribly sure, but I've never seen a box in the color of orange. This thing was pretty loud. It stood out really well in my my step. I'm excited. We're gonna actually install this thing hopefully hopefully in an hour. I hope it doesn't take any longer than that. I think without further ado, let's get this thing unboxed and let's throw this on the car. Just want to be a little careful with this. Again, I'm not used to this whole unboxing thing. It's been a while since I've had parts come in for this car. I think the last thing I've done that's really, well, I had the wheels, of course, but before that, maybe the diffuser. This corner. Never easy, guys. You guys know how it goes. Alright, guys, you ready? Oh, man. Oh, this is so freaking cool. Guys, check it out. My new carbon fiber steering wheel. This thing is freaking massive. Oh my god. So carbon fiber, we're not just talking bottom up here as well, but also the trim. Now the thing is, I'm gonna have to probably remove this trim, which it looks like it's relatively easy to do. And actually the nice thing is, look at this. It's not fully set in. You guys can see that gap. So it's a quick pull off. I think they just did that for simply packaging reasons, but the weight to this wheel is real good. Holy crap. The quality, the stitching, the suede. A lot of people kind of stray away from suede. I was reassured by the company that I started working with, Leo Carbon Fiber, that this is a really, really robust material. They showed me a picture of a wheel after 3 years of daily driving use, and it looks just like this, just like new. So I'm freaking excited. Let's throw this thing on the car. The first thing we got to do is disconnect that battery. But actually, obviously, one thing I kind of want to just get used to while we can is I want to see how easy this trim comes off, because we are going to have to remove the trim even off the OEM wheel, and the reason being is because I need to get those controls. This thing obviously doesn't come factory with buttons, or doesn't come with buttons, so yeah, we're going to have to do some trim removal. So let's get to it. I still kind of want to get probably to the real meat and potatoes of removing the OEM wheel. So yeah, let's make that kind of our first priority. Oh man, that was wonderful. I actually realized, well, first and foremost, pine needles, love them. I didn't have a 12 millimeter triple square, so I ran to the store, grabbed that. Let's take this thing off. Let's get this thing going. Alright guys, unfortunately this is filmed on a much later day. I actually went to edit this video, and unfortunately the audio quality, as you guys can hear from some initial parts of the video, just really were, they're a little tired. We'll leave it at that. It definitely, I don't know what happened honestly, but yeah, it just needed to be redone. So unfortunately a lot of my installation, although I didn't really film too much of it, and I'll kind of discuss a little bit about it now, but you know, for the installation part, it kind of, the audio is just so bad. So unfortunately that kind of just leaves me to just give you guys sort of my final impressions. I've actually had this on the car for about 2 weeks. Which is about 2 weeks delayed when I was supposed to drop this video, you know, which is again my own fault. I've had a lot of stuff going on, but I have some really cool videos on top of this one that I'm excited to share with you guys. So the wheel. Alright you guys, as you can see, this carbon wheel is looking freaking beautiful. So let's talk about it. Now, I think I've probably covered some of the things in my unboxing. That's the unfortunate thing of filming it a little bit ago, and as well as a little bit of the install too. But I went with, of course, suede hand grips on both ends, of course. Stitching, I went with blue. Looking back on that, I probably wish I went with some white stitching, as a lot of this interior is in white stitching. You know, the door cards, the seats has, you know, they have white stitching and white piping. So that probably would have fit the interior a little bit better if I went white, but blue is still kind of cool. Again, it matches the gauges, which, you know, a lot of people kind of like. Lastly, for I guess the spec, we went with this kind of really neat blue 12 o'clock stripe. again, it really does match kind of the paint. It's got this really kind of lapis blue look to it, so that's kind of nice. And the beauty with these wheels, again, and I know I addressed this briefly, but they come with the trim in carbon, which is so sweet. Usually this is an optional extra, and this is, again, the reason why I really like this company is they're not overpriced. They're priced just right, and you get all the things that you would need and want in a wheel like this. So it's something to really keep in mind if you guys are on the market. You know, you're not spending $1,000, you're spending, you know, $750 plus my discount, and you will be getting a very reasonably priced carbon wheel. Now going on to the install, let's talk about kind of the more difficult parts. So removing this from the aftermarket, which is this wheel, was a lot easy because it was actually shipped not fully clipped into the wheel. So there's actually a little bit of a gap here, as you guys could see sort of towards my unboxing. So that was kind of nice. Again, it was easy pulling this off. Now going on to the OEM wheel that that of course was on this car, and that was a little bit more challenging. That trim obviously has been on the car since it's been built. You know, the pins are tough to really kind of pull out, and there's no true clips, it's just pins, and there's about, like, I want to say a dozen pins, and that might be an exaggeration, but so getting the trim off was really tough. But once you do, and I highly recommend actually getting the trim off with the wheel still on the car, just so you have that kind of leverage. I ended up taking my wheel inside. What I did was I put 2 screwdrivers in the top here, kind of in between this and here, and believe it or not, it didn't even do any damage, any cracking, and it was kind of open to whatever it was going to end up doing, but it left no damage, which was really nice. No impressions, no nothing. So that's something that I did, and then I kind of just pried. I started grabbing. Again, you don't want to pull it, you know, in one corner, say just start on this side or rip it off. You really kind of want to work each side. And you see a lot of videos, and again, if I were to make a video, it'd just be kind of repeating a lot of other videos. So just something to keep in mind. I use a screwdriver. I didn't see many other videos doing that, and again, I use a very thin, very micro screwdriver, so it worked out. And again, so once you take that trim off, the buttons are going to follow. You got DSG paddles, like me. You want to be very careful when you're pulling the trim off. In fact, you want to go slow, just because there is the DSG connection is actually connected to this, and of course this goes this way, and the DSG paddles stay on the wheel. So there is, I think there's 1 or 2 screws. I think actually there's 1 screw per DSG paddle. And again, you know, once you remove these buttons, and again slowly after you unclick the paddles, you'll have access to that screw where you can actually pull off the paddle. So moving the paddles was really quick and easy. Again, I'm still rocking the OEM paddles, which I like, but I found these magnetic ones online that I have not seen any reviews on. I just saw a post about it, and I saved the post, and I might actually buy those because I don't think it's tremendously expensive. It's like $100-something, and you know, for a paddle shifter, it's like, that's kind of reasonable. I know you can get the one the Humble Mechanic made a video comparing, you know, the same style for a different price, and I think one was $20, one was $150 or $180. You don't have to spend the $180 on something like that. You should get either the $20 kind of extension, which again fully replaces this. I hate stick-on paddles, I can't stand them. You know, or you could do, again, like the magnetic ones that I found, which I got to do a little bit more research before I ended up pulling the trigger, but I'll probably end up throwing those on. We'll see. But anyway, aside from that, the airbag was super easy. The buttons were pretty damn easy. And again, switching everything onto this, so switching the buttons on was easy. Again, it has a harness that kind of, I think the harness goes just around here. So if you guys follow my finger from this side, really kind of connects here under the airbag, and then it goes right around here. And again, if the airbag weren't here, it'd just be trim. What you want to do is you want to tuck it in between. Unfortunately, for the video that I filmed, the audio was just so bad that I probably wouldn't be able to, you know, kind of backtrack and show you guys. But anyway, that was kind of one of the pointers that I wanted to bring up too, is the wire harness. That's again another thing that connects both these both these buttons together. And as you guys should know, these are actually technically like connected. I know it doesn't look that way, but they're connected by that wiring harness. So I plugged everything back in. Everything worked fine. One thing to know, if you're obviously, I really hope you guys unplugged your battery if you're planning on doing this type of install. I did, and my battery, I think the install took me about an hour. I think the longer you have your battery unplugged and disconnected, it's perhaps the more electronic wishy-washy stuff's going to happen, and certainly that was my case for even an hour. I mean, the install should really only take 30 minutes. I ran into some lack of tools and lack of really technique, and that's what kind of extended the install. So it shouldn't have been as long as it was, but Mine took a little bit. And yeah, so it took about an hour. And again, because the battery was unplugged for an hour, it took a little bit of time, about a full day, maybe 2 days, to get all of the functionality of all my buttons again. I need to figure out, actually, if you guys could recommend any cleaners, I could probably ask the wheel people too, but I'm curious to see what you guys use on suede, because I know suede doesn't really, it gets at least dirty easy. This suede, although, I know I briefly mentioned it, but it's really robust material, and you know, it's soft, it's really supple, but you know, I've been in Mercedes, I've been in, you know, some Audis and stuff, and some of the RS cars and whatever, and these, you know, usually with suede it's a lot softer. The downside to being softer is it, you know, wears down a little bit easier, so something to keep in mind. This is a little bit less soft, however it feels like a more robust material, and you know, the fibers, it has a lot of like little mini fibers, but you know, again, I've been driving around with it, and I will admit I've been driving a lot just touching the carbon, because I'm so scared of this, even though I can trust the material. I don't know, that's just me. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This was a freaking sweet wheel. One of the honestly my favorite modifications to this car, just because your wheel's in front of you. If you guys ever feel like your car interior is getting a little dated, or you need to spice it up a little bit, do the wheel. I don't know if I'd recommend shift lights. I know a lot of people like the shift lights. I think it's corn on the cob, unless you have like a full race car. But just having all those lights just flashing at you, I know it's some people like it. Actually, probably a fair amount of people watching who have aftermarket wheels may have that. Guys, it's your car. I'm not going to say it looks bad on your car. That's your thing. But for me, I can't. That will never be on my vehicle. But yeah, I don't know. It looks pretty sweet, drives pretty sweet, and it, you know, again, it helps refresh the interior a little bit. So I don't know what else I want to do. Maybe I'll do some kind of like suede carbon treatments on my shifter, just to kind of keep the carbon trend. Just I don't have too much carbon in the inside. In fact, I only have the wheel and some like faux carbon on the door cards, which, you know, doesn't really look like it's carbon fiber. So we'll see. We'll have to kind of trial and error it, see what else we can do with this interior. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. But thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'm definitely excited to share some other stuff with you. I actually, ironically, last night I just went drag racing, so that video should actually be out. I'm probably gonna put that one out on Sunday. So this is coming out today. No more delay. I'm gonna get this thing out, and tomorrow, stay tuned for that drag racing video, and definitely check out DasDriven.com to scoop any merch. These hats have been selling really well, and I know you guys have been liking them. So if you guys want me to like tweak some designs, add some new colors, I'm happy to do so. Let me know. Excited to share some future content with you guys. We have some new N-Link sway bars, as well as the new Crackle tune, which is hopefully soon to come to this car. But anyway, we'll leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace and love.